Hey guys, this is lesson 2.1. We're going to start really getting into solving equations and also solving inequalities. So there are a couple vocab words on here. There's equation, there's solution, there's identity, there's contradiction, and there's actually one more that's just the vocab word of inequality. There really isn't definitions that you have to do on here because that's just solving. They're just bringing up those words for reference. So don't add anything to your notes or anything like that. So we are just going to dive into some examples today and talk about them. All right, so for our first one, we are going to take that 3 and we are going to distribute it into both parts. That gives us 6 minus 9p equals 42. All right, so just solving our basic stuff, minus 6. That gives me negative 9p. Don't forget that negative sign. And that looks like it's going to give me 36. Divide both sides by negative 9. We are getting p equals negative 4. All right, don't forget you can always take that negative 4 and plug it back into here and make sure that it does check and give you 42. If this was a test, I would definitely recommend that so you don't forget. All right, number 2, distributing again, being careful with our negative sign. This is negative 15. That would give me positive 12r equals negative 9. All right, I'm going to add 15 to both sides, add 15 to both sides. Now I'm left with 12r equals 6. Divide by 12, and I'm going to get r equals a half, or you are welcome to write it as 0.5. Again, if I were taking a test, I would take this, plug it back in, and make sure that it really equals negative 9. Third example, this time we've got letters on both sides. In fact, on this left-hand side, we have w's in 2 different spots right there. So I'm going to distribute first. 3w plus 21 minus 5w. Since I've got these w's on the same side, I'm going to combine them. So 3w minus 5w gives me 2w plus 21. We haven't done anything over here on the right side, so I'm just bringing down my w plus 12. All right, I like to keep my variables positive, so I'm going to move the negative 2w by adding it over to the right side, which means I'm going to minus the 12. So it looks like I have 3w on the right. And 21 minus 12 should give me 9. Divide both sides by 3. Looks like w equals 3. Again, if this was a test, please take this, put it in both spots on the left side and the one spot on the right side. Make sure everything checks out okay. All right, our number 4 example starts again the same way. We are going to distribute first. So we get 5x minus 30. On the right-hand side, we've got x's in 2 different spots. So I'm going to combine those. That gives me 5x minus 18. And what I'm noticing right here is I have the same amount of x's on both sides. So if I were to try to minus them so they'd be on the same side, they end up going away. And you're left with negative 30 equals negative 18. Okay? That is not true. Negative 30 is not the same as negative 18. So on here we write no solution. Okay? Some people write it with a symbol that looks like a 0 with a line through it, and that means empty set, meaning there's nothing in there for a solution. I prefer if you got in the habit of writing no solution, just in case people are thinking that's a 0 or it's weird online and hard to read. So no solution would be better for me. All right, number 5, again, practicing my distributive. I get 6 minus 9x. Right side, I got some distribution going on. So I would have negative 2x, and then careful with your signs, we'd have plus 6. I'm going to combine these x's together. So that would give me, let's see, negative 7x minus a negative 9x plus 6. And over here I have 6 minus 9x. So again, just like on the last question, we have the same amount of x's on both sides. So if I tried to move those so that all the x's or all the variables were on one side, you'd notice that they just go away and you'd have 6 equals 6. Now this time that is a true answer. 6 is 6. So instead of writing no solution, we say all real numbers. Okay. Now when we say all real numbers, what you might see instead is 2 lines and an R like that. That means all real numbers. It means it's an identity. That one I would totally take because that one you can't really mistake for being a different number. So again, just as a reminder, if they don't equal each other, it's no solution. I prefer if you write no solution because this can often be mistaken for a 0. If they do equal each other, you can write all real numbers. You can write all real numbers on here, or you can do the little symbol with the all real numbers. I'm okay with either one of those. All right, our last example is an inequality. So same steps that we've been doing. Let's see, to start solving this, I'm gonna minus the x, keeping things positive. That gives me 8 is greater than or equal to 3x plus 17. I'm gonna minus the 17 over. That gives me negative 9 greater than or equal to 3x. Divide both sides by 3. We get negative 3 is greater than or equal to x. All right, now the only thing about this that I'm not a big fan of, and you'll see this when we start doing answers, is that the x is in the back half of the equation, if you will, or it's on the right hand side. So really how we want to write this is x in the front. Now if you read this and you think about how this inequality is shaped right now, the open mouth or the alligator mouth, and if we were in class I'd be doing some chomp chomp noises with my hand, it's facing the negative 3. So make sure that when you rewrite this, it's still facing the negative 3. Okay, so if you were to read this original one, it should be read as x is less than or equal to negative 3, okay, because you always read the variable first. So when we rewrote it, that is how it was written. Okay, now when we put this on a number line, go ahead and just put negative 3 in the middle, go a couple above, a couple below, and then from here, reminding ourselves that since this had the equal to, that means we have a closed circle, and it is x is less than, so number smaller than, so we draw our arrow. Okay, quick reminder, if it's got equal to's on it, we make a closed circle. If it just has greater than or less than, we put an open circle when we do our number line.